Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Join me is Ryan Detrick, Chief Market Strategist at LPL Financial, to discuss if Santa is coming to town for the final stock market push in December. Ryan, it's great to see you as always. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Jill, thank you for having me back. Appreciate it.
All right. And of course, the question is, we know December typically is a positive month in the markets. Is it time to give up on Santa just yet?
We wouldn't give up just yet. You know, you talk about history, right? We know December is usually a strong month. It's the second best month of the year. November is better. That's mainly thanks to that huge drop we had in 2018 in December. But it's something I don't think most people realize. If you look at the S&P, what it does, your average December, all right, it's flat the first 15 days. Things get stronger the second half of the month when Santa Claus comes to town. People take off work. There's not a lot of volume, not a lot of news. You get that little drift higher. And although we had that enormous rally in November that maybe is pulling a little bit from Santa, we really think, you know, we can get into the sentiment. It's getting over the top. But we think maybe Santa can still come to town, have a little bit more strength before 2021 is all said and done, though.
Do you have any concerns heading into 2021 with valuations stretched as much as they are?
Yeah, I mean, you have to, right? I mean, valuations are stretched. The good news, earnings just continue to come in better than expected. We think maybe 25% earnings growth next year can justify that. What worries us a little bit, though, is the optimism, right? We've all talked about those big IPOs that have been coming out. The talk, is this 1999? We don't think that at all. But at the same time, the near term, some of the sentiment polls, some of the flows, people are getting optimistic. Right. And you think about in March, no one was optimistic. It's when everyone gets on one side of the boat and you get a little rock, that's when you can go the other way. So near term, as we get into the first quarter next year with all this excitement, we think Mr. Market might have another thing coming, and maybe a well-deserved break could be warranted, really.
How are you invested going into the end of 2020 and into the new year? My second question to you is, we talk about U.S. markets all the time. Are you starting to warm up to emerging markets?
Yeah, well, we just released our 2021 outlook just 2 weeks ago, and emerging markets is one of our favorite areas. We've actually liked it this year also. So you think about U.S. I mean, U.S. has done great. We still like the United States. We like growth a little bit over value. We see cyclical value, some opportunity. But you talk about emerging markets for a second. Emerging markets are not even where they were in January of 2018. Emerging markets aren't even where they were in 2007. Gone nowhere for 13 years. Yes, the U.S. is stretched. There's some concerns, but if you look at emerging markets, valuations are historically cheap relative to the rest of the world. And where's all the growth coming from? It is coming from emerging markets. So we think emerging markets is a place that the average U.S. investor probably can find some alpha, some outperformance. We're not quite as warm and fuzzy, though, on developed international, specifically Europe. We just think emerging markets is a nice pocket as we head into 2021 for a global rebound, and they should do well.
Yeah, especially with all the financial technology that's coming out of there. It's quite incredible what they're doing in the fintech space.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. And just look globally. I mean, look at like you talk about fintech. I mean, Taiwan, South Korea, those are making like all-time highs, okay? All-time highs. I mean, that's really impressive. Those are some big cogs as we look at emerging markets. China's done very, very well also. We get it. Nobody trusts Chinese data. We're not sure we trust it either. But there are some positive things clearly happening out of there. And the other parts of emerging markets, I mean, they are really looking strong. So it's just a group that we think can do really well into next year.
All right, Ryan, great to see you as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.